and welcome back to RBG Gold Rush. We have an excellent Wave Race 64 run coming up by Shibbypod and commentated by Dr. Fish. Doc, take it away.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for allowing us to come and do this run. I'm Dr. Fish, and this is one of the first Wave Race 64 games, and Shibbypod is here. Sorry, I talked over you.
Oh, you're all good. I didn't know. Anyway, yeah. How's everybody doing today? I'm going to let Fish do most of the talking today, so you can keep going.
Yeah. So the category Shibbypod will be running today is all championships, as you see on the screen, which includes completing every one of the championships in order from normal on to reverse. As the estimate is about 53 minutes. Hopefully we don't have to get too close there. Yeah.
Wave race.
Oh, here. Okay. Oh, sorry, I had myself muted on there, but we should be good now.
Yeah, countdown's better if Shibby does it because he'll be able to know, because this race starts from console reset.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be doing something a little bit different than console reset. I'm really excited for this, you guys. I'm going to be playing for you today on a Ultra HDMI modified Nintendo 64. It's the first time I've ever gotten to play a marathon on this. So one of the features on this, I'll bring up the menu real quick, is that we have an in-game reset, which I just turn on, and then I can push Z, start, A, B, and R at the same time, and it will soft reset the console like this. So that's how I'm going to reset today.
Okay.
In that way, also, my capture card doesn't lose signal and have to reboot to get the resolution correct. So it's the best way for this console. So yeah, I'm pretty much ready whenever you guys are.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So we'll start in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right.
Wave race.
So what Shibby's just done is his menuing into championship reverse. For our championship normal first championship is pretty short. It's only 6 tracks. We start on Sunny Beach, the track that we always start on. Alright. And Shibby was able to get max power. Max power is a part of this game that is technically, and it's a 1-frame trick. There's only 1 frame. You can press the start button or your gas button and get a 5 flag start. However, because this game runs at around, it runs at a little less than 30 FPS, probably around 29 point something FPS. It's not that difficult. Shibby is the master of this course. We call this course Shibby Beach within our community. And so he's having a really nice run through the first time here. I'm sure I'll get into some of the mechanics of the game as we go along, but just see if Shibby can get himself a 103 to start. Looks like he's pretty close here. It's going to be close. And he gets it. There we go, last frame. So a 1 minute 3 second time is what we would call a benchmark in our community. Which is the time to the second at the top that the 3rd place player on the leaderboard has. So now we have Sunset Bay. This track is a little bit more complicated than Sunny Beach. Sunny Beach, at least in nature of the shape of the track. Sunny Beach is just the oval track. This is Sunset Bay. It's got some more different types of turns. But it really emphasizes using the B button to stabilize yourself in certain sections. Specifically the wave section that you'll see coming up here very shortly. with like the 2 or 3 waves that Shibby is navigating. He's pressing his B button to stabilize himself, to not be in the air too long, and to kind of also glide off of the waves. That's how he's able to hold such high speeds for most of the track. Looks like a good run so far on this track as well.
You're about 14 seconds ahead.
Nice turn. We're gonna start out with a double benchmark 105 Sunset Bay. So very nice job for Shibby.
Move on to the...
Welcome to Milk.
Watch the signal. 3, 2,
Alright, so on to Drake Lake. Now this is the track. Every single track in this game, other than this one, has waves. However, Drake Lake does not have any waves. It is waveless racing. But it is one of the most technically difficult tracks at a high level. Because holding the speeds that you need to get some very good times is very difficult. Especially in the beginning sections of the track. We saw Shibby unfortunately miss the max power, but he still managed to get a very nice first lap of 25.6. Alright. So just... And also, a fun part about this track is the fact that this fog that we see over the track, which is not necessarily fun to navigate, actually lifts here at like 52 seconds. It is on a timer. Generally we get it at the same time because you know, you're usually within a second or two of your times in an attempt, so you'll get it there. But it's actually on a universal timer for the track, and every single time you play it, it'll always lift at like 52 seconds. So that's a neat fact that happens in this course. And this next course is definitely a significant course to this run. This is Marine Fortress. It has a neat trick that we perform. So for this first track, Shibby's going to take, very likely going to take this track straight forward, going to go all the way around. But then after that, we'll see his trick performed. I will let him kind of navigate that at that point once I see him get close to the second lap. But this is a neat track overall. And this is one of the 2 tracks we use a different character for. The character is currently in 4th place, Jetter, as the character we use.
You're about 9 seconds ahead.
Oh, he got it. Nice. Very... Oh, that was such a fast cycle, too. Well, what Shibby just did there is the dive, and I know there's one more coming. So good job on the first one, bud.
You're about 18 seconds ahead.
Boom, 2 dives. There we go. This track is one of the key tracks in any championship run that isn't reverse. It's got Tricky Dive, the one very nice solid 119.1. The fact that he was able to get the dive on lap 2 is really good. He understands how that works. I don't quite know how to work with that cycle. So yeah, on to Port Blue. Port Blue is one of my favorite tracks. Not necessarily in this version, but in the later version of the track, it's pretty interesting and fun. I'll check chat, see if there's any questions. Yeah, So a lot of these tracks are all cycle based, and Shibby's doing a great job keeping himself on the cycle. For Port Blue, there's a specific cycle where you dodge that kind of correlates more in the start of the level, but it does have implications in this section where the boat is. But more or less, like just for laps 2 and 3, if you can keep yourself on this correct cycle, you won't have to worry about about grabbing this second wave. Like you hit the wave in the kind of square in the face there, but then you don't have that second wave coming in and crashing in on it. So yeah, this is track 5 of normal, so we're almost out of here. And Shibby's had a fantastic normal so far. Great job. Looks like a 123. Yeah, and a low one at that. That's awesome.
You finished first and got to move on to the next.
All right, so next track we go is Southern Island, and there's something. This track is fantastic, but it has one kind of main issue, and this will allow me to talk about music within the run. That this course, because you're loading so many things, you can see on the screen that it's lagging, and it only happens with music on. So unfortunately, when we do PB attempts, there is no music being played, and it's a lot to do with this whale that you'll see. I think you'll be able to see it eventually on the track. But if you are able to complete every track in your first place, like there's the whale right there on lap 2. You get the whale spawning in, but there's so much stuff that spawns in on this course that it lags the game, unfortunately. Losing about 4 seconds RTA, even though your clock doesn't show anything. Oh, Stewart. Holy cow, give me a heart attack. Yes, great job to navigate around that. Sometimes the CPU in this game, there is no rubber banding. The CPU go at their own pace. And sometimes, very rarely are they actually issues. Especially normal, because they're generally like pretty slow in normal. They might only come up here and cause some issues. But should be doing a great job navigating around all of them. Finish is up.
Yeah, what was that?
Normal.
Stewart was trying to take my head off there.
Yeah,
Stewart
got herself caught up on the ramp and almost caused you to crash. Yeah, that was a sick normal.
I need to get my max powers figured out, though. I need to get those more consistently. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with how it's going so far. Marine Fortress was exciting.
Yeah, MF is always exciting. It's nerve-wracking in marathons because you want to get the dive.
Yeah.
But you've practiced well, so no issues.
Practice. I put my butt patch on for practice once.
Yeah, I'll explain. I guess we can kind of go over why we use David Mariner in this. We have 4 different playable characters. Mariner having the tightest handling and grip, and like kind of the loosest grip. I think it's loosest grip, anyways. But he's able to hit the highest max speeds, and as long as we just turn his handling up to like the full, to the fullest extent, it's not as difficult to navigate. So yeah, we've gone through the credits, and yeah, you can go ahead and read out any donations or anything you want to read out.
So I just wanted to let everybody know, in addition to donating, which you can do at !donate in chat, you can also, any subs or bits that are given during the course of this marathon are going to be given to charity after the taxes are taken out of them. So that's a great way to give. If you happen to have your Twitch Prime, you can give to charity for free.
Very true. Yeah, Twitch Prime is a great way to support your favorite streamers and events. So yeah, definitely, if you have your Twitch Prime still available, really good time to use it. Helps out for a really good cause. Yeah, we are into hard mode. You can see that the buoys are a little bit different here on Sunny Beach. Then the spike balls have started appearing. But in this track, it does get a little harder in terms of like it's a little bit longer to take around, but we see here Shibby's doing an excellent job navigating so far, getting some nice cycles here. It is possible to get a 103 on every single forward version of the course. It's such a little bit off of a 103, unfortunately, but still should be fine. Yeah. The really interesting things come on some of these later courses, especially Sunset Bay. The track changes quite a bit in how we take the track, and this is when we start. We saw that there was some intentional buoy missing in normal mode for Sunset Bay. However, here we get to see like 4. This is the first time we intentionally skip more than just the last buoys. So Shibby's going to do his opening, and on this first lap, he's going to grab this first yellow buoy. Even though it's a bit out of the way, it's still faster to go ahead and grab it that way. But after this, we're going to see him just pretty much skip the buoy, that same buoy on the next 2 laps. Right, 24.9, great start lap.
Seconds ahead.
So yeah.
Okay.
So, for the runs, are they normally based off of the in-game timer or out of the split timer?
So for these RTA categories, we use a splitting timer. We just use an RTA timer like live splits or whatever program you use for it. And then for the in-game timer stuff is for the time trial. We have a pretty big time trial in the community, or IL community. Like especially in the last a couple of years, it's been blowing up. Yeah, nice 103. 109.3, I should say. Heading into Drake Lake hard. The buoys, the slalom kind of changes. The buoys change within the section with all the wooden posts. And so you'll see should be navigating it much differently than he did normal. And I will also mention for the version of the game, he's playing currently on the Shindu version, or the Rumble Pack version of this game. The original game was released in November of '96. However, it was not released when the Rumble Pack was around, so they made a Rumble Pack version, but it was made for Japan only. It's a Japanese only version of the game. And it's also a bit of a remaster, so it's technically the NTSC J1.1 version. And it has fast loading times, and at least for doing IL attempts, there's a faster time in between the menuing for when you have to reset or when you have to restart. All right, she should be carefully navigating the wooden posts. Let's see. You have opportunities, especially on this one. You definitely want to be skipping some buoys towards the end of this. Oh yeah, great Drake Lake, great. Run so far here. We'll see Shibby just grab this buoy, grab this one, and then skip this final buoy and kind of get a boost. When you lose power, you actually get a boost for a little bit going forward before you have to do acceleration. And Mariner doesn't do that well with acceleration, but his top speed is excellent. The best top speed in runs in the game.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, here we go. This is Marine Fortress. Getting the 4-star is not ideal, but you'll see here she's going to go ahead and do the dive here on lap 1. Oh. Get it? Yes. Okay, wow, that was scary. That's scary because the CPU being there, he actually fell down, but managed to recover in time to get the dive. So really good job to stick with that. And now for the rest of this run, especially in hard mode and expert, you really only have to do the dive once, because you're going to see here that the gates open up. The kind of draw gate opens up, and so things will go a lot faster for the next 2 laps. You can kind of see how Mariner sometimes slides around on these turns. So sometimes it's better when you have those, instead of forcing it and going through kind of a slide, it's to more just kind of roll with it, even though it might lose a little bit of time.
You finished first and
All right, so we're out of
the
Marine Fortress and back to Port Blue. After this, we'll see our next track, our first new track introduced into the run. So Port Blue has now a shortcut open in the tunnel that's going to open up on this track. It's got a bit of it's a bit tricky to navigate if you're not practiced on it.
Everybody is behind you.
But if you want, you can do what's kind of known as R-turning, which kind of does like a slide-ish turn. But Shibby did a great job there on lap 1. I'm not sure if that was actually done with a sliding turn or not. And then also the boats, the ramp gets closer and closer to the side of the boat. In hard mode. And in an expert mode, you'll see that there actually is going to be no room to actually skate through the ramps. We're going to have to go over it on every lap. So yeah, this is going very well so far, honestly. Great display of this game we're playing. Shibby holds the world record in this category, and he actually holds the world record on every single individual RTA category. So championship, normal, hard, expert, and diverse. He holds all of them. And on this one, he has his most significant lead of having a 51.11, and then the next best time is my time at a 51.42. So he is 31 seconds ahead. So he's going to do the buoy skip here and get himself a 120.6. Great job. And a handstand for the fans. Let's go.
So, Dr. Fish, I don't know if you noticed, but on the stream, we've added Clodor to your name there.
Oh, that was a meme. That was just a joke, because we were making a joke about if Clodor's brother that touches the door is Todor, then the one that closes the door is Clodor. But yeah, no, I generally just go by Fish or Dr. Fish in the thing, but I appreciate the little touch on the name. So yeah, if there's any donations or information that you want to go ahead and talk about, you can go ahead.
Yeah, we're raising money today for RAD, or Rise Above the Disorder, which is providing access to mental health care for those who would not otherwise have access, either through affordability or just not having access in the area. And so you can give to that by typing !donation in chat, or donate in chat. Or for the course of the stream, any bits and subs given during this stream also are going to go to the charity. So if you happen to have that Twitch Prime, you can give to charity for free. That's right, make Amazon give to charity.
Yeah, definitely go ahead and do that if you have the means to. Yeah, we saw Shibby going for dives on Twilight City here. Unfortunately, he was going for on lap 3, but he had a good cycle
it's
to
risky.
get it. Just didn't.
It's risky, and it just didn't work out that time.
Yeah, I don't think Mariner didn't quite give it to you, because it looked like you were on fine to just go up and down there for a long dive. It is tricky to go for in runs, and in a normal attempt that would pretty much end the run. But there's plenty of give in marathon runs for that. Yeah, we're into Southern Island Hard. So this is definitely a bit different. The buoys are actually quite a bit different as they get swung out really far out here. And there's in this section here, we have like waves that form, and they're kind of meant to trip you up because they kind of somewhat hide the, I don't know what they're called exactly, but like the wooden things that are kind of in the middle of the water. They kind of hide those, but the water's sinking. Just kind of gives you a path to go through. Yeah, this is the final track of hard mode, and after that we're going to be moving into expert.
You're about 12 seconds ahead.
Yeah, I guess I noticed that Shibby has his names of the characters as various other members of our Wave Race community. So I thought that's a pretty cool shout out. Yeah, we've closed out hard mode. We're going into. We have, after every single championship, we have to watch the credits, and we have to watch the time scroll. So we have Andy Panther, Zuby, MDK, and Ryan Warner. So shout out to all of you guys who have been killing it in the game, especially during our Olympics, which are going on this month for time trials. So yeah, we kind of just have a bit of lull in time before we go into the next section, as these are a bit longer. These ones are a bit longer as we get to see more and more of the cutscene of Mariner holding up a trophy. I don't think he holds it up until after the next championship, but kind of longer and longer trophy cutscenes for the harder and harder difficulties.
You get to move up.
We are technically halfway through in championships, but we're not quite halfway there on the tracks. Because there's 28 tracks, but there's 16 of the last tracks are in these two, because they're both eight races long. So we add an 8th track here in expert mode, and buoys are even kind of more tricky in this section. Sunny Beach especially, but mainly Sunny Beaches comes down to the end of the lap versus the beginning and the middle, where the buoys are all in the same spots here, except for maybe that last left buoy before the second hairpin is a bit closer to you. Everything's pretty much about the same. So at one point, and I know it was mentioned in chat, it was kind of theorized that hard mode might be the best way to actually, might be the faster way to do the track, which should be once holding the world record on hard mode for the track, but we've since kind of gone back to just using normal. The only main difference is the wave cycles at the end of normal can be a bit tricky to get to certain specific times that for achieving it, and we're going to see Shibby doing an intentional buoy skip here. Get a 104. So yeah, so every time we see a track here, it'll be the final time we get to see it in forward.
Warm up your engines. 3, 2, 1.
I've got a donation here if I can. Got a $50 from Equate. It says, now to $500? Question mark.
Good night. Good.
Big shout out. We saw Shibby getting pushed around. The AI can be really a pain in the side for the first few seconds of these tracks, especially on Sunset Bay. Shibby was kind of fortunate to get away with not missing a buoy there, because this track is very specific with how you skip buoys in this specific format, or the specific level of it. So yeah, you should be skipping the buoy at steal a buoy on all times. He's going to perform a slightly different ending where you're not skipping 2, but you're skipping 1 buoy. Alright.
You did it!
Nice.
You finished first and got to move on to the next.
Yeah, and Vesper points out in chat, $29 left to the $500 mark.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, so Drake Lake Expert is
Everybody is behind you.
really interesting because I find that this version's actually faster than hard mode because of how the buoys line up. And you'll see kind of how Shibby takes this section. That doing it this way is pretty fast comparatively to hard. You're able to get mid-25 laps to start,
6 seconds ahead.
which leads to a more likely scenario. And so we're really like 113, 114 seems to be the really good times for hard mode. 112 seems to be like 112s, 113 seems to be possible with this mode comparatively. Here we go. Final time going through Drake Lake and forward.
Seconds ahead.
So Shibby's going to take a lot more boost skips here than usual. It avoids it's really good here to do that. It avoids 112. Let's go. The 3 buoy skip there is really nice because it takes away the possibility of crashing.
Welcome to Marine.
Because those posts are unforgiving. If you hit that post, you can fly up in the air. Generally, falling off your jet ski loses like 6 seconds or more potentially. But doing it in certain ways makes it even worse. Ooh. All right, onto Marine Fortress Expert. AI's PP. Please be nice. They were. And Shibby got a nice, like the way Shibby is grabbing the wave there is so fast. That's like one of the first, like that's probably the fastest that you can grab a dive without flying up into the air like we saw Shibby doing normal. And we see, and also the crates in that section, in the boxes in that middle section where you're kind of going towards the hairpin, they're a lot more difficult to navigate, and experts will generally just go farther to your left. You can go right up the middle, but any too far to the left, too far to the right, and you'll crash on the box. And you gotta respect that. Alright, so really, really good expert mode from Shibby. See, he's on his 3rd lap, and Jetter's very likely on his 2nd lap. And he's gonna get a 113.9, so actually a better time in expert than in hard mode. So that's always good to see.
Welcome to Port.
All right.
I got a couple donations here if I can.
Of course, you can go ahead.
Alright, Captain Spag 101 donates $28.76 and says, I've got just a tad room in my wallet, so I'm gonna push it to 500 for a good cause. Let's keep these things rolling with great runs and with generous donations. And then Vault donates $5 and says, first time donating to a speed run. I'm glad I can do it. Can we try and get a $5 train rolling at the end of this run? Let's do it. Let's get $5 going.
Hell yeah, let's get the train running. So yeah, you saw just on lap 1, and you'll see it again coming up here, is that Shibby using the kind of having to navigate going up the ramp of the boat. So he's gonna be, doesn't look like he's using the R slide as much there. He's just kind of taking it head on, but leaving himself a lot of room for the boat turn, because you still kind of have to make a decently sharp turn there. But he's not sliding out, which makes his recovery a lot easier. Nice wide yet sharp. Oh man, I'm safe. But that can happen. I thought he was going to get through that part, but it just didn't quite give him it. But still not too bad. Generally, when you fall off like that, you lose, I don't know, maybe like a second to a half a second to a second, depending on how fast you get up. If you just like kind of fall, like if you just fall and your feet get wet. Okay, on to Twilight City Expert.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, nice. So Shibby on lap 1 does a bit of a safer kind of route to get underneath on lap 1, where he kind of uses the ramp to propel himself up and grab the dive. The dive function is when you are holding back on your controller and then you kind of do a swift motion forward. And something I learned is you just kind of have to do it like you mean it. You have to go for the dive, and you really gotta tell it what to do. In general, that way it's more likely you get it. And on this track, we're not using a giant wave for it. We're using Bob Cycle, which makes it a bit more difficult. Like Marine Fortress's wave, you generally have an easier time getting a dive off of a wave like that or off of a ramp. There we go, all 3 dives. So Shibby got all of the Marine Fortress dives, so that's 4 out of 4, and we got 5 out of 6 on Twilight City, so that's really, really good for marathons. So yeah, good stuff. We're gonna finish here with a 128. Excellent stuff.
You finished first and got to move on to the
And on to our final new courses. We just played Twilight City, but there's 8 courses. It's Glacier Coast.
Who's gonna win?
Glacier Coast is, or as it's known in the Japanese version, Cool Wave. Some of the tracks have different names in the Shindu version or on the NTSCJ version for the 1.0. This track's quite tricky. You can see the wave, the ice here. It can really throw you off. Generally you want to obviously take it as risky as you can and try to really get good turns. But especially in RTA, we don't want to force it. So it's kind of like balancing risk and kind of reward, and kind of being a bit safer and making sure that we're not going to lose a lot of time, like falling off falling off our watercraft.
Maximum power. Final lap. Keep it up.
Right. And we saw on that lap that there was a bit of unfavorable RNG with the wave, where Shiddu's kind of coming in at an awkward angle for him to get a good turn, but they're pretty nice. He's gonna opt to go for just a 1 buoy skip there. That's fine, it's safe. Sometimes we go for, in case of something like that happening, if Shibby were to miss a buoy there, he would have retired if he had gone for the 2 buoy skips. So smart, just to make sure there's no chance of retiring.
Welcome to Southern.
Yeah, and that's another, I should have mentioned that almost to the start. If you miss 5 buoys, you retire, and there's also a retire option in the menu, but we're not allowed to like skip tracks and everything. And we don't have a category that allows that either. Like in any percentage category. But there are ways to kind of maneuver that if you're trying to unlock the tracks, but yeah, so the whole thing in this category is we're not allowed to retire at all, where the run is kind of over. And we see Southern Island, we have buoy skips here, because on lap 2 and 3 it is a lot slower to do that. It's a lot slower to go around and grab that buoy, because you generally would have to go up the ramp and go onto the ship, which a lot of this game, a lot of the really interesting parts of this game is optimization of your routing and everything like that. There's not so much like out of bounds tricks or anything like that, but it's a really, like, for a kind of a pure racer, especially I love it because it's a water racing game. A lot.
All right, Expert went really well.
It really did, yeah.
We're on a good pace. Well, we would be on a good pace if Hard had been a little bit better.
Yeah,
but overall, still doing good, I think.
yeah, but
I got another donation here if I can.
Oh, great time for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Young Tunfish donates $5 and says, "Give me a ticket to that train. Choo choo." By the way, Wave Race is one of my favorite N64 games of my childhood, along with 1080.
Nice.
Love to see it get some love in a marathon. Less than 3.
Well, thank you. That was the Thunfish.
Young Tunfish.
Young Thunfish. Yeah, I see him in the chat. Thank you, dude.
You're the champion. Congratulations.
So we've seen all these tracks before, and now after this time scroll, we'll be entering what a lot of people would consider the most difficult championship of which is Reverse, which is my favorite championship of all of them, like individually at least. So yeah, we'll get ready to do it kind of do this game kind of backwards.
Wave Race.
And not a lot of people know this, but all speedrunners are actually fueled by donations to charity. So if you wanna pump up the fuel here, you can drop a donation like Anonymous just did, dropping a $5 donation and saying $5 hype train.
Oh yeah, we can keep this train rolling for sure. I definitely definitely agree with that sentiment. So yeah, this is Sunny Beach Reverse. This one looks, I don't know, this looks a lot different than the forward version of the track. This is much more tricky to navigate than a normal Sunny Beach because of how close the two buoys are in the middle of the straightaway with the most buoys. That first stretch is very tricky in general. So, and Shibby's doing a great job navigating it, and the way that these laps work in Reverse is kind of different than the cycles we're used to seeing in a normal time trial attempt, because of the camera pan. We're about 3.7 seconds into the cycle, because the game starts running the level as soon as it loads. So like once you see the camera start the level, the cycles have started.
3, 2, 1.
So yeah, onto Sunset Bay Reverse. And the CPUs love to troll you at the beginning of this, but Shibby did a good job navigating that. But so pretty much throughout Reverse, minus a few tracks, we're going to be seeing a lot of those skips and a lot of routing that just kind of is just optimizing the route that we take to make sure we're going the fastest that we can. Yeah, if you have any more donations or anything, you can go ahead and.
I will. I'll go ahead and just shout out again the charity that we're raising money for is RAD, or Rise Above the Disorder, that is eliminating the boundaries that are in the way of people getting mental health treatment, that of accessibility and affordability. So your donations, they're going towards making mental health accessible to everyone. And remember that if you don't have money to spend right now, a great way to help out is to just spread the word, to tweet out the stream and drop it into your Discords.
Welcome to Milk.
Because the more eyes, the more people can give to this great cause.
3, 2, 1.
For sure. So yeah, I mean, it's great to at least get the word out, and make make sure that people can see, especially what these other great speedrunners, not just Shibbypod, are doing for their runs, and get to see great speedrunning and just be a part of something for a really good cause. I did want to shout out for that last level. She was getting an excellent time on Sunset Bay reverse of a 1:08.8, which is not easy to get on this track. On that track, especially in a marathon. We're on Drake Lake reverse. This track is extremely tricky, but she's navigating so well. Oh, he almost got a very, very good booty skip, but but still a good one. He was able to take a slightly better line here. So yeah, nice, good stuff so far on this track. Taking a more risky line, but yeah. Unfortunately, the buoy there, Shibby did a great job there, making sure that he wasn't, gonna lose like a lot of time. So that, unfortunately, touching the buoy kind of pushed him off of line.
Welcome to Marine.
Onto a Marine Fortress reverse. This track is very cool.
Gotta say, this game looks super clean for an N64 game.
Yeah. I agree. I've watched like as I've been playing it and learning like the physics, the way physics they put into the game, they made it very realistic. They made it pretty realistic, and it really just holds up. In general, there are other installments in this series. This is the second installment of it. There's a Game Boy version and a GameCube version. So like, there's Wave Race for the Game Boy, and then there's Wave Race Blue Storm for GameCube. And in general, this game, at least to me, this game has appealed the most. And the wave physics are just so nice in this game, and it looks really clean, like not just for playing on Shibby's Ultra HDMI, but just like playing on in general on a normal CRT. Like this game is really nice.
We've got a $10 donation from Anonymous, and they say, "Here's my $5 for the train, and another $5 in case somebody couldn't donate. Let's keep this train going."
Welcome to Port.
Nice. Well, thank you to Anonymous for everybody else who's been donating on this $5 donation train. Right. On to Port Blue reverse. Ooh, good. Got through that first section. The first section on this track on lap 1 is very tricky. Because the CPU can really throw you off, and then this whole track as a general is kind of difficult because you're navigating tight corridors and very tight turns with a character who doesn't turn the best. So generally, we again do this track with he's in 3rd place, but the character, his name is Miles Jetter. He has like the loosest handle, and he makes kind of like he can make tight adjustments. You can make like big adjustments fast. But yeah, this track is generally very tough in speed runs, especially in all championships when we're, most of the way through the tracks. There's only 3 more tracks after this.
You're about 9 seconds ahead.
Yeah, so really good 3rd lap here. Making sure to get really wide there to have a nice turn. That boat turn is pretty difficult with Mariner. So overall, really, really solid time, even with kind of falling down on lap 2, and which can happen.
Welcome to Castle.
So yeah, onto Twilight City reverse, the longest track in the game, because we don't have the dives to use to make Twilight City shorter. if you go through that section, it's just kind of a dead end, and you'll miss a lot of buoys doing it. So yeah. But this track is also a very big favorite of mine. All my favorite tracks are difficult ones. So Shibby's gonna do a bit of a different navigation of the track here from what we normally do. He's gonna grab the extra buoy there. Generally, we'd go down to 4 buoy misses because we don't want to risk, because it's more worth risking it in a run where you can reset to do another attempt. But in RTA, especially in all champs, it's a lot more riskier to do the normal IL strat for the game or for this track. So yeah, Shibby will take the 4th skip here. And finish out the track.
I retired.
Oh no! Oh no!
So technically it's a dead run, but it's not over. I'm gonna play the last 2 tracks for you guys in time trial, and I'll do then I'll call time. So sorry about that. I wasn't expecting that to happen.
Yeah, I mean TCR stuff. I kind of saw it coming with the rough turn, but
yeah, that was rather unfortunate. But it is a risk. I should have just only missed 3 instead of 4. That's what I should have done.
Yeah,
you know?
There are safeguards that we have in place usually for runs. Hey, but you know, sometimes you risk it and you get it, and other times this unfortunately happens. But yeah. So this is Glacier Coast Reverse. It's another really fun track. But most of these, like Twilight City Reverse and Glacier Coast Reverse, are kind of two of the more difficult tracks to do. As with the way that one specific section goes, Shibby missed the extra buoy, so now he has to do a longer route, unfortunately.
Oh well, that's what happens when you try to play a little risky.
Yeah.
I thought the alternate path wouldn't be that risky, but
yeah, I didn't either.
Almost had it.
Yeah. Ended up being kind of risky. All right, and then this will be the last course. So yeah, and here we go with it.
3, 2,
Southern Island Reverse.
Yep, this is Southern Island Reverse. It's a really good course.
We'll call time soon. Of course, unfortunately, it won't be like an officially timed run because I had to finish after I retired. But still had a fun time watching. I hope you guys. I had a fun time playing.
Oh yeah, I had a blast. I hope, and like you said, hope everybody who's in chat is having some fun watching this. I guess we get to see SIR without lag, so it's pretty good. but otherwise, yeah. Unfortunately, this can't be an officially timed run.
I mean, I'll definitely speak for chat. I've thoroughly enjoyed watching this run, and I'm excited to get to see it.
Yeah. Great. We're coming up on time here. Do you want me to say it live or on my side, or do you want? I think I'm a little ahead of you guys because
yeah, say it live. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So time will be in 3, 2, 1. Time.
You get a 120.
You almost had it.
All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Unofficial. And I think going into time trial instead of finishing it in championship
It cuts the
also
time. It
took out some time.
Yeah.
So let's just call it 52 flat.
Yeah, it's about 52. I would say if you added everything in. So yeah, it'd be close to 52, which is fantastic for a marathon, especially with music on.
Well, good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah, very fun. Fun run.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Well,
And-
shout outs to RBG and Esports and for Dr. Fish for commentating the run today. Of course, we in our community, we have a leaderboard on speedrun.com/WR64, and you can find our Discord in there as well. We usually have active guys, and this is our this month is our like big event. We do the Wavery 64 Olympics every July, and we're like more than halfway through it now. Our last week of the event starts on Sunday this coming weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll have some guys streaming throughout the week, and we might have like a little event on my own stream at the end of the week. So yeah,
Yeah.
hope to see some more of you guys, and hope you enjoyed the run.
And that